You want to boil your water?
This is Cecilia.
Hi!
She is the expert at making everything Italian, and this is her chicken carbonara.
Well, the expert was my mother.
Beautiful kitchen. And this is where we will eat. This is a beautiful fireplace over here. And anyway, so back to Cecilia.
All right, so step one is boil your water, right? Nice big full pot of water. The more water, the merrier.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your pasta to stick together. So I've actually pre-boiled that so that I can just turn it on and have it ready to go
Awesome.
when we want.
Always.
The old saying is that you wait for the pasta doesn't wait for you.
Exactly.
Because you go from al dente and perfect to gooey and sticky.
That's
very
why
quickly.
I end up with gooey all the time.
So hence, boil your water, get it ready, but do that last minute.
Okay.
So one thing I did in advance is I cut up and then cooked the bacon.
Okay.
And I did that in part because I like the bacon to cool down a little. Because if you
That takes me forever.
yes.
Did you do it in the oven or?
I did it here.
Oh,
in this pan.
okay.
I just pan fried it. So the bacon obviously very hot after you've fried it and gotten a little crispy. I like to fry it to get crispy because you want that caramelization that adds a lot of flavor. And then when it's mixed in the rest, it also maintains a little bit of its crispiness as opposed to being kind of
What bacon did you buy? Do you still have the package?
well, I use two primary, but yeah, one of my favorites is the Applegate.
Okay.
No nitrates always, so that you don't get all that disgusting
Do you
bloating.
get it from D&W or?
I get this one usually at Meijer,
Okay.
and then I buy another one, which I have a little package for. So I just taken my garbage for that one. This is one I find at what do you call it?
Okay.
The Family
Yeah,
Fair.
I had that one. Yeah.
So it's nice because there are no nitrates in that either.
Perfect.
And that's a little bit of a thicker cut bacon.
And you toasted these pine nuts. Did
And
you
I
do that
toasted
in the
pine nuts.
oven or?
I did at
Okay.
350. You don't want it to be too hot because then they'll burn.
Okay.
So that's not part of the carbonara though. That's part of my salad.
Ah. Okay.
So for the carbonara, we cooked the bacon. I browned the onions. Again, looking for caramelization because all of that adds flavor. Now I'm going to get the water going again on the stove. And once, oops, wrong one. Once I get that boiling, I'll add some salt. I'll put in the pasta. I'm sort of debating volume here because this is a little over a pound because it's the good old Costco, you know, like big eaters kind of special.
Yes.
Is Ed joining us tonight?
I told him to try to stop by, but he's doing a run downtown, and then he's going back to work for 3 hours. He's doing an extra shift tonight. I would like him to do the extra shift tomorrow, but for some reason he wants to do it today. So,
Okay, no worries.
but I said maybe he could stop by.
Yeah, I'm only asking because I'm trying to figure out volume here. So I'm thinking I'm going to do like maybe
I don't think he would eat very much.
1.5 of these.
Although I could bring it over to him.
You could.
Because he's working right at Riley. So
What I'll tell you is the carbonara,
has to be eaten
well, it's best
right
eaten
then and there.
immediately. It's certainly edible the next day, but then you have to do a few things to zhuzh it up.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
it loses. The problem is that the egg continues to cook. And as the egg continues to cook with the heat,
It gets more dry. I
it
guess.
dries out,
Right.
and then the pasta itself will absorb a lot of the liquid.
Okay.
So have you ever had like a noodle soup and then you stick it in the refrigerator? So if you have anything you want to keep like that, you want to use an egg noodle. This is your typical semolina, because the egg noodles don't absorb the
How did you
sauces.
learn all this?
the hard way.
Oh.
But so like when you make chicken noodle soup, you want an egg noodle in there.
Okay.
You do not want to put in typical pasta.
Anytime I'm cooking anything, I'm going to call you
Yeah,
up.
I'm happy to consult. So this will start to absorb a lot of the moisture. So then the next day you got to add a little. I usually add a little bit of cream or something to just kind of give it some extra. You can add a little olive oil. But yeah, it's a very different experience day 2 than it is day 1.
Okay. Okay.
The
Sounds
the
good.
trick,
Trust me, Ed and I are going to love it either way.
The trick
He's
with
used
the
to my
carbonara.
cooking, remember
Yeah.
that?
So have you?
He
you know
doesn't
the-
have any expectations at all.
Well, I'm sure you do.
No.
beautiful dishes.
You've talked to Kevin, haven't you?
He doesn't come in here and speak badly of his mother's cooking.
Thank you, Kevin.
That's a good trait. He should 100% be grateful.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
He is a better cook than me, Kevin.
okay,
So
well, good.
let's
Then
put
he
it
can
that
cook
way.
for you.
Exactly.
Since you spent all these years cooking for him, it's his turn, right?
Yeah.
So the trick with carbonara is like the trick with cooking eggs.
Mm-hmm.
You cook the egg on too high a heat, it turns into a rubbery mess. So it's about cooking it at the right temperature for the right amount of time, and with eggs, seconds count.
Ah.
So part of the
Just
reason-
even for scrambled eggs, in general.
yes, because
Okay.
in my opinion, if you cook scrambled eggs at too high a heat for too long, they become very dry
Yeah.
and sometimes rubbery.
Okay.
So
yeah.
regardless of the preparation, whether it's a poached egg, a fried egg, or scrambled egg, or an egg, where the egg is the main event, it's about cooking it at the right temperature and for the right timing.
Ah.
So the thing with carbonara is that you really put it together at the very last minute,
Mm-hmm.
so that egg gets enough cooking to, kill off bacteria and all that good stuff and
Okay.
make it warm,
Right.
but not where it starts to dry out and then stick to the pasta.
Okay.
So you want it a little slippery. I know that sounds kind
Ah.
of weird, but which reminds me, I need to grind my Parmigiano.
I would have definitely done that part wrong. 100%.
Yeah, it's everything with that. So the reason that I was telling you that I cook the bacon in advance is if you throw a raw egg on hot bacon that's like literally bacon grease, like fired up, you end up with split eggs and split cream. So you're trying to get the cream and the eggs to amalgamate.
Oh,
And if it's
okay.
too hot, it'll split.
Okay.
So then
So
you get.
you have to let the bacon sit there for like a half an hour?
I cook
Okay.
it in, I don't time it per se, but I try to cook it
Early.
as the first thing that I do in the
Okay.
series. I
Okay.
get the water on the stove first, and then I cook the bacon,
Okay.
and then I go from there. And so usually by the time I get around to putting it all together, the bacon's still warm, so you don't have this like cold sort of solidified bacon,
Right.
but it's not so hot that it'll split the eggs
Ah.
and the cream.
Key. Okay.
So key.
You might have told me previously to cook the bacon first. Like I think I
I'm
have
not
it written down. But
Yeah, I mean, and the thing I sent you was really kind of just the steps, and that's what I
Right.
was saying. It's
yeah. It's good to
it's,
see.
Yeah,
and
it's hard to.
just
catch
tell me
all
if
the
there's something you want
nuances.
me to do.
No, that's-
I'm just
all of it.
videotaping for my
good.
for my Cecilia cooking channel.
Yeah. I love it.
You missed out on your calling.
Did
You
I?
really could be a
Well, I mean,
YouTuber.
hey, maybe that's my
That
next
could be your next
big
thing. Well, the YouTuber for people that want to build their own house,
Oh,
people
I
that
have
want
much
to
to learn there.
design a kitchen, and people that want to cook amazing Italian pasta.
I think the reality of it is, in all of those endeavors, you have to do it once and make the mistakes before you figure out exactly.
I
sure,
could
you can-
probably
no.
make the mistakes a
It's
million
plastic.
times,
You don't
and
need
I'd
that.
keep doing it.
Yeah.
You at least learn from your mistakes.
You know, you do and you don't. And then you get drinking some wine, and next thing you know, you forgot to cook the bacon, and then this is how these lessons
this
get
feta?
learned.
Right
That
here?
is
That's
feta
for the
cheese. That's for the
salad.
salad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did you cook the peppers too?
I did not. I
Okay.
cheated on that because yes, you can. They're not difficult to do. I mean, have you ever, what do you call it, roasted a pepper?
Well, on the grill, yeah. I don't do it in the oven usually.
Yeah, you can do it either way, but you know, I mean, it's messy. It's time consuming. So, I mean, when it comes to these kind of moments, it's nice to have it on hand. You can buy them at Trader Joe's, and I think Meijer. I think the last bunch I bought at Meijer, and you know, just dry them out, tattle them off a little bit so that they're not slimy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I like the fresh toasted pine nuts because that adds a lot of flavor. I'm a big toaster, as you can tell. everything's about caramelization and bringing flavors out.
This is the part that I tend to get lazy on, have to admit.
Well, that's why some good cheats are important. Like you can
Right.
buy the roasted red peppers.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's not really I mean, it's always better when you do it fresh, but you know, with time being limited as it is, you can't always do that.
Right.
So figure out what matters the most. Stick to that. 8% right now.
That looks amazing. I love Parmesan cheese so much.
Here. Have a
Oh,
check.
yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
I'm going to share a little teensy
Perfect.
tiny bit with my dog who absolutely loves. I'm trying this Parmesan.
Weirdest dog ever. Biddy. Aw.
Eating the cheese. I love the cheese. Cheese is my favorite thing. Okay. Our water is boiling.
Mm.
Well, up to there. Have some more.
I could live on that.
Yeah. Where's Nut Reggiano?
I could live on the farm as long as someone else is doing all the work.
I hear that.
Like eat the fresh
All right.
cheese.
So this thing needs 11 minutes. Now, something that I've actually only been implementing in recent years is this taking a scoop of boiled pasta water and saving it to add moisture to whatever the sauce is. So it's an interesting, because it has, think about it, the pasta boils in there, it has a little bit of flour content.
Oh, okay.
And so it can act as like both a thinning agent as well as a thickening agent
Okay.
for the pasta sauce. So I pour that in. I'm just gonna do a bag and a half, I think. So we're,
Oh, where are your other kids right
what's
now?
up?
Where are your kids? Oh, Julian's at swimming, right?
No, Julie's here. They're all
Oh.
home. They all rolled in. They've done it at 5:30. So everyone's upstairs doing their thing. Okay, so where's my slime
Another thing
spoon?
that usually doesn't happen is that our kitchen is usually not quiet.
That's nice though.
Everyone's like
Yeah, they're all up in there.
in there. They're not very patient when I'm trying to make the food.
Oh, yeah.
But-
Well, you know, they get hangry, right? And
Mm-hmm.
mine all come home and eat like shakes. That's what Powell was doing down here, was eating
Oh,
his
okay.
shakes. So
Yeah.
he was, and Julian has his pre and post workout, and
Mm-hmm.
we even shared. You might hear from Carba about this new whey protein that I found at my gym.
Where did you get it from?
At my gym, Vilio. But it's so super clean whey.
Oh,
That-
someone was just talking. My friend Sonia
Mm.
was just talking about that.
So they make it. The whey comes from farms in Ireland, I think.
Wow.
So they have
Sounds
all these
fancy.
fun flavors. This one's friends with benefits: peanut butter, chocolate.
That sounds amazing.
There's a vanilla, of course.
How much are they? Oh, you want some more? There you go.
I wish I knew. It just gets charged to my account. I want to say it's probably somewhere between $60 and $80. It's expensive. I thought I'd try it. I like that it's clean and all that good stuff. So, all right, let's do a
If the kids
boil.
like it, that's good.
Yeah. Try to eat them.
Kevin
Okay.
hasn't. Yeah, maybe he.
I
has
gave
smoothies on
Kevin
occasion.
a sample of that peanut butter chocolate. That
With. Did you
I
just
just-
put it with milk?
No,
or-
just give him a packet that he can mix it on his
Oh,
own.
okay. All right.
So he may be trying it.
Kevin should try to get sponsored by
Hey.
that. That's what he should do. Then he can get free product.
know.
That's what he does. I'm going to tell him to so I can get some free product. More cheese.
Just-
Uh-oh,
well, didn't
my
he-
phone is dying.
Did you say, does yours work on a pad? You try to stick it on my little charging pad here.
Oh, yeah, it would
Here.
work on a pad. Yeah.
I think I'm pretty full of, so try it. Whoa, okay, we are cooking with gas now, as my mother-in-law likes to say. Fun fact, if you blow on boiling water, it cools down.
Is that true?
Yeah, did you not see it? I just blew on it and all that foam went down.
Okay. I would guess it would work like a tiny little bit, just.
Well, initially, Julian found this thing on YouTube where apparently if you take a wooden spoon that's long enough and you put it across, it'll never cross that,
Oh, that's really cool.
which is sort of interesting.
That's kind of something I could see Julian getting into, like figuring
Right.
out why that
Science.
happened. Yes.
Science. So, you know, we could add some of this grease back in depending on what we want for flavor, but I feel like we don't really need to have that
I feel like
much.
this part I'm not going to be able to show Ed.
No, I mean, actually, show them this. You just leave
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
behind. So you've cooked out a lot of the fat, and what you have is
Mhm.
mostly the flavor that
Yeah.
remains. So you can kind of test the temperature there. It's just room temperature at this point. And putting in the onions. So all that's mixed in. That flavor.
Mm-mm.
Then I start to put in my eggs. Now, how many eggs do you put in? Well, this is how my mother explained it to me. Is that you basically put in an egg per person.
Okay.
Now, it kind of, you know, mind you, this is my 80-year-old mother explaining this to me, who had very little appetite. So, or 86-year-old mother, but in the end. So one that broke, couldn't use that for my poached eggs, so that works fine here. Oh, by the way, do you know that you rinse anything with eggs in cold water? It comes off much better than if you try to rinse it in hot water. Because the hot
Also
water,
did not know that.
hot water
There
cooks the
are
egg.
many things that I do not know.
Hot
So
water.
that's why I need a Cecilia
Yeah.
cooking book.
Do you want to grab a chair?
No, I'm good.
The hot water cooks the egg, so it adheres it to whatever the thing is that you have on.
Okay. Good to
Oh.
know. I have to remember all
Okay,
this.
Google, set timer for 10 minutes. Okay.
All right, 10 minutes.
Actually.
Starting now.
Okay, Google, cancel.
No problem. It's canceled.
Set timer for 8 minutes.
I don't think you said hey Google.
Okay, Google, set timer for 8 minutes.
Sure, 8 minutes. And we're starting now.
Okay, so here's the issue. Because, again, I'm really kind of not adding a lot of heat from the stove when I add the eggs and the cream. I want the heat from the bacon, and I want the heat from the pasta to cook it.
Okay.
Okay?
So what is the temperature on right now? Would you call it like a low or a medium?
It's on 0 right now.
Oh.
It is on. Yeah.
It is on.
So I have it on low.
Okay.
Thank you. Glad you got that. Wait a minute. What am I doing? I don't know if I turned it on, actually. It's kind of weird. So we're 7. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I go 8? Just. I'd rather have more egg than more cream. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because it just,
Yeah.
the protein content, less fat, and the flavor. So
Okay.
I don't want. The cream is there just to add a little bit of creaminess. Yeah, it's not that complicated. Creaminess to the whole situation. So the reason this pasta, they say, cooks to al dente in 11 minutes. So
Mhm.
al dente, means with teeth.
Mhm.
So you don't want to boil pasta to the point that it's gelatinous. You want
Right.
it where it's not where it's crunchy, but where it has a little bit of
Bite.
to it.
Mhm.
So that's the al dente. When you are taking it from the boiling water and putting it into another pan with a heat source, you're cooking it more.
Okay. Mhm.
And so what I'm really trying to do is undercook this just slightly so that
Mhm.
it can cook with the cream and the eggs and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I do keep
And
it
that's
on
why
low.
instead of the 11, you did it for like 8?
Well,
or-
first of all, we were chatting, so
Yeah.
I realized maybe a minute had gone by there, and then what
Yeah.
did I say? 8 or 9? I think 8 minutes is what I did.
Yeah.
So that'd be 9 minutes, so I'm 2 minutes off.
Okay.
I will test it before I stop cooking it to
Mhm.
see where it's at, and that's
Okay.
just to pull it out and rinse it off. And,
Okay.
hi, dog. What's going on? So yeah, it's again. I'm There's just nothing to say but to feel your way through. And that's this too. So I just put a little bit in. I mean, I don't know.
Cream.
A bit of cream. And I'm gonna kind of start to mix it. I'm keeping it super low because I don't want the eggs or the cream to split. I want them to come together.
Mm-hmm.
So still to cook it, to have that, we don't necessarily want to eat raw eggs.
I can see that if I was trying to do this for the first time for a bunch of people, I could really mess up.
You could, because again, it's like, so you see here, there was some part of the pan that was a little hotter than the other, and you see how that egg cooked, and it's a chunk.
Right, yeah.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm actually
Okay.
turning off heat. Sometimes it's good to have a mistake in the cooking, because then you can demonstrate what not to do.
Right, yeah.
So I think the last time I made carbonara, my sister-in-law was here, and I was trying to show her what I'm showing you now, and that was when I forgot to cook the bacon.
Oh my gosh.
So the bacon didn't have as much time to cool.
Right. Okay, so then it was all really hot. And then
Yeah,
the egg
and so
overcooked.
then what I didn't do, well then I didn't put any heat on at all. I just kind of let it cool down for a little bit, and then I put it, see how that's staying down.
Yeah.
You really do want your pasta cooking at a full rolling boil. You do not want pasta cooking at half pace, because that's how you get this, you build like this very,
glue.
yeah, it just gets soft once it has it. Okay. Bread in the oven. And how much is this on? I probably want more time than I have, because when I get to chitty-chatting and trying to explain, I lose track of all my notes. Timing is everything. Okay. How much time is this on?
What time do you have it on? 200?
400.
Oh, 400.
Okay, so let me get this timer going for 7:10. I mean, ideally, you're putting things in like boom, boom, boom in this order. But
Right.
life's not ideal.
Wait,
It just-
so the Google timer from your phone is connected up to the speaker in the house? Or
So
the
they
ha-
both
the
work. They
the
both
speaker
work.
is on the Bluetooth or something?
They both work on voice control.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll get both timers going at the same time. They'll ring a ding-a-ling-a all together. What I try to do is keep one device for one element and another do it. That's just me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you should look at this because this is an important note. See how the egg has cooked a little bit?
Yes.
You don't really want that.
Yeah.
You really don't. So I think maybe that was partially I wasn't mixing it quite vigorously enough at the beginning, and partially because the pan was too hot. So remember, when this comes out, it's at boiling temperature. So I'm
Okay.
not pouring it in with the water, but the minute those hot noodles come in here, it starts to cook the egg again.
Okay.
So that's why you don't really have to do a lot of pre-cooking with it, because it
Okay.
will cook. And that's usually when I turn on the heat. So I would say, especially if you have a warm pan with warm bacon, then probably just put in those ingredients. Ideally, you'd probably bring them to room temperature so that they're not cooling down, but they're also not needing to be heated up, other than by the pasta.
Okay. Gotcha.
So do what I say, don't do what I do. Okay, that one's quite a lot.
I am going to take a little videotape of how awful mine turns out the first time. No, hopefully it'll turn out perfectly.
No, okay,
Because
well,
I
how about
had
this?
your help.
I'll come to your house. and
Oh, yeah,
I'll
that's true.
Coach you through it.
The only time that
And
wouldn't
then I'll
have worked
videotape
was when
you.
I was going to make it, which was going to be like Christmas Day.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's not good. Happy to come over as your sous chef and leave when you want me to. Like the hired hand.
Oh, you are welcome to come over anytime.
So the other thing that is really key, you don't really need to add any salt, because of course between the bacon and the Parmesan cheese that I'm going to add to this, there's a lot of salt. But what you do want to add is tons of black pepper.
Okay.
For me, it's everything. It's like such a huge part of what makes it remind me of
I love black pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I use it all the time, and so this is getting a little low, but I gotta am I doing on time? So 29 seconds before this thing goes. So adding the pepper while I'm thinking about it, you can always add more at the table. Sometimes less is more, but really on this dish, you can't really go wrong.
So far we have bacon, onions, egg,
So I cook the bacon, I
milk.
get the water boiling, I cook the bacon, remove the bacon, I cook the diced onions in a little bit of the, whatever's left over from the bacon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because you don't need to add more oil, right? It's already pretty oily. Okay, Google off. Okay, so that's 8 minutes. This is almost not as big enough. Okay, Google off. Cold water so you don't burn yourself. Maybe a little beyond el dente. So, that's interesting. We were chatting for longer than I even realized. Okay, so remember what I was saying. Always reserve some of, I don't need this big. Some of the pasta water, because this can be helpful in your next steps. Okay, you gotta do that quickly, especially if your pasta is boiled too fast.
Oh, so you reserve quite a bit of water.
It's just because I had a 4-cup deal there. Ooh. I don't have to take all the pasta out because I'm actually going to add that to this because this is a lot of pasta. It's a little too big for Jaegers for that bowl. So I'm just going to add it here. Now, here's a tip that I don't do for this particular dish, but for other pasta dishes is after that I would add a little bit of olive oil to keep the pasta from sticking together. And it's also a really healthy fat. So I'm just adding that egg mixture in, and I'm going to turn it through here. And it's going to continue to cook in the pot with the pasta, and then we're ready to serve. So I'm going to throw in
Excellent.
a little bit of Parmigiano cheese, just at the very end here, because cheese doesn't really like it gets pretty gloppy if you add it too soon.
Nice. Now the next thing we need to do is get Kevin and Julian together and actually make a YouTube video.
We should have them do the cooking. We'll teach
Yeah,
them
we
how to
should.
do
That'd be great.
Mortmore's Carbonara dish. I think she would love it. So here you go. There's the end product. You can peek in there. You can kind of see the consistency that you want at the end to save those few bits that shouldn't cook so much. It's not like a fully cooked egg dish, right? It's a little bit creamy nature, but it is cooked. It's sort of like, acid cook something.
Ooh, that looks amazing. Nice.
Dinner is served. Dinner is served, boys. I need a cowbell. Ding-a-ling.
You do. That is what my mom had. That is.
Your mom had that?
Yeah, I do have one in my house.
Yeah.
I've never actually used it, but.
So we just generally in this house serve, buffet style. I'm probably not going to use this, but
Hey there. How are you? I'm doing a video for your mom's cooking channel.
Who knew?
Are there any other recipes you would like her to cook for the channel? What are your other favorite dishes?
I really like your steak and salads. She has good salads.
Ooh. Wow, I have to get some of your salad recipes because I've never heard my kids say that. They like my salads.
Who really
Like salads.
enjoy
But
salad.
that's a good salad. Like I don't usually make salads that look this amazing.
It's a simple salad. This is actually, I've collected salads over the years, This is one of a good friend of mine, old roommate from my Jersey days.
Hello, Michael. This is for the YouTube channel.
Oh, great.
Cecilia's cooking channel.
Nice.
All right, grab the
Looks spectacular.
so
Yes.
sorry, watch your legs here. Here you go,
And
Panda.
then you add the pine nuts to the very end.
Yeah, add the pine nuts and a little bit of cheese, and I actually toss the salad and the veggies with the dressing.
Was it only olive oil, or did you have
Olive
some of
oil,
the-
balsamic vinegar.
Oh, okay. All right.
Garlic, fresh pressed garlic, salt and pepper.
Okay.
Simple. But, salad dressings are also a sleight of hand.